What is happening, Vape fam? Joe of all Vapes coming at you with another edition of AM Reviews. Got my coffee working for me here, because that's the only thing that keeps me going other than the good vape and the good vibes, you know what I mean? So thank you very much, friends, fans, followers, and family. If this is your first time joining me for one of my reviews, please consider subscribing. I got some of the latest and greatest reviews and some of the latest and greatest products coming out in the vaping market, and we're going to be talking about one of those right now, the V1 Kit 230 watt mod from Vapesoul. This is a cool little device. And I've been playing around with this over the past couple weeks here, and finally, excitedly, and able to bring this out to you guys. Now, Vapesoul is making a little bit of a bigger name for themselves on the vaping market these days. So we're going to talk about this cool little innovative device. And I do mean innovative. It has one neat little addition to it that no other mod out on the market has to date. You're going to see it here for the first time on little old Joe of all Vapes channel. So let's take a look. Okay, so here we are, folks, with the Vapesoul V1 230 watt mod kit with the V1 tank tapping release cover. For those of you that saw my V1 tank review, this is pretty much the exact same 2.5 milliliter capacity tank. So one of the things that makes this really outstanding in terms of just kind of innovative new mod products out on the market is that this comes with a function that allows you to download an app onto your smartphone that if you lose this device, you can access the app and actually find this pretty much anywhere in your house within reason, and I'll get into that a little bit more. But this is what they talk about with the anti-lost function, okay? So we'll get into that later. 230 watt max output with two 18650s, V1 tank top fill tank with the bounce button, the gold click bounce button. 40 watts to 120 watts with the 4-heater Canthal heating coil that it comes with. Typically they suggest you use it between 50 to 110 watts. We'll get into that once again. Comes with an extra coil of the exact same design, one USB cable, you got your spare parts, and all that happy stuff. Okay, so let's bust this out of the box and actually take a look at what we've got going on here. Okay, so you open up the box, and this is what you're going to initially see. Let's take this portion out. This is going to be your user manual and your cool little micro USB cord. And typically I'm never really excited about seeing micro USB cords, but this one's actually pretty cool because they've woven the outer cord, which, you know, this is my first outer cord woven micro USB cord. So, right, okay, it's all about the kitschy little awesomeness. So we're gonna stick that aside and bust out the user manual. Pretty much just a lot of the same functions that come with a lot of the top end mods these days. So you've got your power function, which is pretty much typical. You've got your NI, you got your TI, stainless steel, and then of course you have your DIY and DIY2 functions. So those are kind of like your memory functions. Okay, so you can kind of play around with that. And then there's the resistance checking that you can do for those of us that like to get a little bit more into the nerdly factors of building your own coils and all that kind of stuff. Okay, and then we're gonna lift the top flap, and this is what we're looking at with the V1 system here. Okay, so first of all, once again, you got your V1 tank, 2.5 milliliter capacity, and no, they did not conveniently fill this with juice for old Joe of all Vapes. This one is from the V1 tank review that I did recently. Yes, I did cheat and throw this bad boy back in there, so I'm not gonna make it cheapened for you. For those of you that actually kind of want to get a little bit of an in-depth look at the V1 tank, I've actually got it right here. Pretty simple design structure if you didn't see that V1 tank review. So 2.5 milliliter stainless steel body, 2 bottom airflow, okay, finger tight, so really simple to open. Delrin drip tip with your gold release buttons right on the top, and it's a top filling tank. So basically what you do is you take these little gold release buttons, one on either side, and you just squeeze them together like so, and the top cap pops right off. Really cool system. Got your rubber gasket going on the inside right there. Pop that bad boy back in and just give it a little bit of a squeeze, and that's about all there is to it. Really easy to open and take apart for cleaning and for replacement of the coil. Little tiny spit of a spigot, bottom 510 electrode going on right there, but how much do you need, right? Just need enough to make some electricity go whiz bang. Okay, so that is the V1 tank, 2.5 milliliter capacity, top filling. Love the little button design. I like that they're gold because I like my flash, right? Okay, so what you get in this box is basically the exact same thing that you're going to get in the V1 kit. Okay, I've just kind of simplified everything for you. Let's take out the actual V1 230 watt mod. It's pretty solidly ergonomic. It's got a nice feel to it. It's got a flat black look with just kind of like this goldish yellow goldenrod color, if you will. Bottom loading 18650, if you can see here, so pretty easy. The ergonomic design of the fire button is pretty cool. I mean, it's not the most gorgeous design in the world that I've ever seen, but it's a really nice design. It's a flush 510 spring-loaded connector up on the top here, and a full color OLED screen. So what we're gonna do is turn this bad boy on, and that is what we're seeing for the first time. Now, on such a small screen, I will say that you know, the high def screen is really, really super clean and crisp. First of all, I really like that it shows the individual power output of each one of the 18650s. I think that's kind of a cool little aspect. Okay, so let's take a look at the different functions. What you're going to want to do is push the up and down ramp button both at the same time. And that brings you into the different modes. So we've got power, we've got nickel, titanium, stainless steel, then the DIY function 1, and then DIY 2. And then we have, what is this? Find my phone. Interesting little function. First of all, when you click in the fire button at the Find My Phone function, you're gonna have two options. One is find, the other one is back, and that's obviously just takes you back. Now this is relating to that portion where I was talking about where you can download an app onto your smartphone and help you find this device if you lose it somewhere in your house, or you know, or in your car or something goofy like that. Let's bring out my handy dandy little iPod here where I have downloaded the app. This is the app, Itsua is going to be its name, on the App Store. It's pretty much the same thing for an Android device as well. So what you do is you download this little Itsua app, you bust this thing open, and it's going to allow you to connect to a brand new device and bind it. Now this works kind of one in both ways. If you click find right here, you're going to hear a little tone that comes out of the mod, the Vapesoul V1 mod right here, that allows you to find this mod if you lose it. And I'm going to give you that example right now. Let's push find. And as you saw, the screen turned on, and I don't know if you can hear it, but it's a very, very faint sound to it. Okay, so that's actually kind of a cool little addition to any little mod device. You hit stop find and it will stop chiming. Now here's kind of the cool portion of this. Click on the fire button again. I'm going to push both the up and the down ramp again so I can bring it back down to the Find My Phone function. Now I'm going to go back to find, and I'm actually going to hit the fire button on find this time. And that is the chime coming out of my iPod. It'll do the same thing on your smartphone. So it kind of works one of both ways. You can find the mod with your phone, you can find the phone with your mod. Interesting, right? Okay, so here's my little take on that whole spiel. The chime on this is actually so incredibly low, you would have to have everything so superiorly quiet wherever you are to try and find your mod, just to be able to hear the tiny little chime on this. And you can't really turn up the volume on this in order to find it. I think it's a really neat little feature that Vapesoul has put into this thing, just if they could turn the volume up on this thing a little bit more so you could be able to hear it wherever you go. Okay, so there's the Find My Phone function on this guy. We're gonna go back into the other functions here, but let's go to nickel just for the heck of it. Click on the fire button. You can hit new atomizer. Let's just say yes, and it goes immediately to the Fahrenheit. See, so you can adjust that. That's real simple, okay? Let's go to the titanium function, exact same thing. Sure, we'll say yes, and then it takes you down to centigrade. Take you to stainless steel, new atomizer, yes. You can play around with centigrade. Then eventually you're going to reach the 212 Fahrenheit mark, which is pretty standard for this stuff. It allows you to work with both centigrade and Fahrenheit, which is convenient for different aspects of the globe, you know what I mean? Okay, so we're going to push in the up ramp and down ramp buttons again, go past stainless steel and go to the DIY. This is more where it kind of goes to the temperature coefficient rating stuff. Now, I don't get real deep into the nitty-gritty of this kind of stuff. I really don't. I'm a guy that likes to just keep it on the good old-fashioned standard power mode. But the one cool aspect that I like about this is the atomizer resistance checking. So it allows you to really check in to see what kind of resistance you're working with, whether built or otherwise. So supports TFR adjustment range to plus or minus 0.1 and goes anywhere between 0.05 to 2.5 ohms. Then of course you got your typical lock function, but this does not lock with the traditional 3 clicks. This one locks with the power button and the up ramp button both at the same time. That will lock or unlock it. So different functions, different mods. Let's take a look at one more little aspect of this. Okay, so we've got some different functions here. We've got working time. Let's click that. 10 seconds, ramped up all the way up to 20 seconds. And that is basically just the length of time that it's going to fire as long as you got the fire button down, you know what I mean? So we're gonna leave that at 10 because that's pretty standard. And screen turn dark. So how long do you want the screen to stay on before it turns dark? I like to leave mine at 30 seconds because I really don't need it on any longer than that. We're gonna click that in and set that into place. 1, 2, 3, screen turn off. After 10 seconds, go back down to screen brightness, which is up at 100%. That's about where I like it because I like my screen bright. 1, 2, 3. And we'll go down to software version, and that is pretty much just going to give you the mumbo jumbo of what kind of software you're using. And then of course we've got the upgrade function, which is really good to see. That tells me that there will be opportunities to update the firmware on this bad boy and give you some more options somewhere down the line. Hopefully they will release more options because we all love the options, right? Okay, so that is the V1 mod from Vapesoul in a nutshell. So now what I'm going to do is bust this bad boy up, and we're going to put that V1 tank on this guy, and we're going to take this for a little whirl. Okay folks, so I've got this set to 55 watts on this gorgeously lovely screen on my V1. Let's give this a fire. Okay, so solid draw. It's pretty immediate on the fire, which I really dig. That shows proper conductivity in spite of the lack of width on the electrode on the bottom of the 510 connection of the V1 tank. Okay, so that is at 55 watts. Let's actually bust this up to 60. Pretty solid flavor, pretty solid warmth coming from the device. It's got a good heft to it. It's a nice solid weight. Got your two 18650s working there. And just through the use of it initially, I'm also seeing a little bit of a down ramp in the power output on the 18650s. And if you can see the top of the screen right there. So it balances out each one of the individual batteries. Overall, I think this is a really good device for just kind of a final assessment here. The one downfall that I see is that Find My Phone function. I think it's a really innovative little function there. I think if Vapesoul were to release a little bit of a firmware upgrade that allowed the just the tone on that to be a lot higher, or something that you could adjust the tone, would make it super cool. Maybe somewhere down the line they'll allow you to you know, just have a different tone, different chimes, kind of like different ringtones for your phone, you know what I mean? The one thing that I do like about this is that through the app, the Itsuwa app, you're able to find your phone with this and then back and forth. So one way or the other, you're never either going to lose your phone or this. Let's just hope you don't lose both of them at the same time. You know what I mean? So US price point so far from what I've seen is anywhere between, believe it or not, 30 bucks for this bad boy or $70 depending on where you go. And I'm going to put the link down in the description below for where you can buy this guy as soon as it is available in the major markets in the US. Okay, so we'll get that going. And if any of you have any questions on the V1 starter kit from Vapesoul or the V1 top filling opening, boom, tank from Vapesoul, definitely throw something in the comment section below. Send me a message here on YouTube, or definitely just swing me a DM on Instagram. I'd love to hear from you guys, okay? So Vapesoul, I want to thank you very much for sending me the V1 tank as well as the V1 starter kit from you guys. And stay tuned, guys, because I got much more products coming from Vapesoul and a bunch of other companies. Some of them you've never even heard of. Some brand new to the American vaping market. It's going to be a wild ride for the rest of 2017, whatever time we have left. You know what I mean? So this is Joe of All Vapes, your eye in that vaping sky, wishing you to stay humble. Spread that love, folks. The world is in dire need of love, so spread it around. Keep it eternally cloudy, and always pinky out. Hey everybody, this is Joe of All Vapes. Thank you for watching. For the best in vape reviews, pound that subscribe button, and don't forget, vaping saves lives.